I'm Sebastian St. James. Can you get rich by being lazy? One of my viewers believes you can. In a previous video, one of my viewers said, "Hi SJS, just a question for you. If you're drawing down, say, on the 60/40 shares, bonds, investment fund, and the market dives, you would just draw down and then rebalance. My question to you is, would keeping your money in, say, a Vanguard 60/40 index fund achieve exactly the same thing without the investor having to manually rebalance? Thank you, Elmo." This is Elmo, and Elmo has some cash he wants to invest. Is my viewer's real name Elmo? No, I think it might be Eddie, but we call him Elmo on this channel. Portfolio rebalancing works like this. In year one, you have a 60/40 split, 60% shares and 40% bonds. In year two, the stock market crashes. Oh no, whatever will we do? There it is. Stocks have gone down to 50% of your portfolio, and bonds magically have gone up to 50%. Wow, that was a good year for bonds. So we must rebalance. That means you must sell bonds when they're high because bonds have just gone up, and then you buy stocks when they're low because stocks have just gone down. Interesting. So you buy enough stocks to bring your balance back up to 60%, and you sell off bonds, which is how you got the money to buy the stocks, and they go down to 40%, so you're now rebalanced. In the next year, stocks actually go up and bonds go down. So there it is. Stocks have gone up to 70%. Of course, we only actually want 60, and bonds have gone down to 30%. So we're rebalanced. So we're going to sell stocks when they're high, and now we're going to buy bonds when they're low. Okay. So there you go. I sold the stocks first, which brought me down to 60%, and then buy the bonds, which now takes me back up to 40%. Selling stocks when they're high and buying stocks when they're low sounds like an excellent idea. I mean, this is the whole basis for rebalancing. On the other hand, catching a falling knife, buying bonds as they're going down only to find they go down even further is a real possibility. Take a look. Here is the graph between the ASX 200 over the last 10.1 years. That's in red. Down the bottom is blue, and that is bonds. You can see by the dotted line of best fit, shares is actually going up fairly well. Bonds in blue has slipped below the yellow line, which is its line of best fit. Bonds are clearly on the way down at the moment. The question is, if you were to buy bonds right now, are you actually buying them cheap, which would be a very good thing, or are they in a systematic decline because of the rise in high interest savings account interest rates, in which case chasing bonds right now would be the last thing you should be doing? That is an interesting question, and it is one I will leave you to ponder. If Elmo wants to rebalance his portfolio, he has two choices. He could buy 60% of some stock ETF and 40% of some bond ETF, all right, keep them individual, and then have to manually balance them himself. Or he could buy 100% of some 60/40 hybrid ETF, the one ETF that actually does both, and let the ETF rebalance it for him. The advantage of buying a hybrid ETF that does it all for you is you only have to make one decision, and that's which ETF to get. After that, everything is on autopilot. On the other hand, if you change your mind and don't want 60/40 anymore, maybe you want 70% stocks and 30% bonds now, well, you're out of luck because that ETF doesn't do that. It's strictly 60/40 and you're locked in. Excuse me, Sebastian, you're always telling me about something new and good and exciting, and then you burst my bubble and tell me how bad and devastating it can be. You're always making me think. I am yin and yang, all wrapped up into one force of nature. To see if a hybrid ETF is right for you, we better look at one. This is VBIAX, which is a Vanguard Balance Index Fund Admiral shares. Sir! Oh, I thought I was saluting an admiral. So its management style is an index fund, which is important. That means there's no discretionary trading going on. And secondly, its asset class is balance. What does balance mean? Well, it means more than one asset, and they're trying to balance between the two. The index fund offers investors an easy, low-cost way to gain exposure to stocks and bonds. The fund invests roughly 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds by tracking two indexes. Do they just? Well, what is your percentage right now? Well, stocks have 59.78. Oh, that's pretty close to 60, isn't it? Bonds, 39.45, and, 0.77 in short-term reserves. What are you holding? Oh, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia. Okay, these are US stocks. This is looking awfully like the S&P 500 to me. And in bonds, you have an LLC, which is a company. You have an Inc., which is a company. You have an American Express, which is definitely a company. We know that. Yeah, there's a lot of corporate bonds going on there. The question is, how often does this fund rebalance? Is it once a year? Is it once a month? Or is it a secret? I spent a considerable amount of time poring throughout the information that this particular fund gave me. Normally this sort of thing is very straightforward. In this case it wasn't. It appears they don't talk about rebalancing at all, and certainly they don't talk about how often they do it. And then I read this. I've been doing a lot of research lately on portfolio rebalancing, and it got me wondering about Vanguard's rebalancing strategy for its own funds. After reviewing the fund's prospectus, I decided to give Vanguard a call directly using their customer service line and ended up speaking to a representative named Robert. I asked Robert two primary questions. How often does my fund rebalance? Robert first searched through the prospectus and couldn't find anything there, so he had to place me on hold to speak with another department. See, not even their own helpline staff know how often they rebalance because it's not actually written anywhere on the website. Hang your head in shame, Vanguard. That is not good enough. When he came back to me, he told me that Vanguard rebalances daily just by properly managing the money coming into the fund from new investors, reinvestors, and the money going out of the fund from withdrawals. Somebody withdraws $50,000 from the fund. They quickly look at their balance. Oh, shares are slightly high, so we'll just sell down some shares, leave the bonds alone, and pay the customer out of that. Next week, $50,000 comes into the fund. What do? Look at their balance. Oh, okay, we better buy some bonds, and rebalance as we go. He told me that if the portfolio skews more than 2 or 3% from its target allocation, the fund will actively buy or sell shares of its underlying holdings to rebalance. I pressed Robert on this point by asking him if it was an automatic 2% trigger or if the fund would only make an active adjustment during set time periods. In other words, did the manager check the fund every quarter and only rebalance if the assets were more than 2% off, or would the fund manager rebalance any time the assets were 2% off, even if it meant making trades every other day, like in a volatile market? Robert's response to this was interesting. He said that Vanguard does not release that information because of the potential for abuse. So how often does this fund rebalance? I don't know. It's a secret. They won't tell us, but they try to do it as funds come in and out. Therefore, based on the information which I have reached a conclusion. I am satisfied that VBIAX does closely follow its 60-40% allocation based on the evidence available to me. Oh, somebody just gave me a thanks. There is a secret I need to share with you. It's about gazumping. Gazumping is basically where you accepted an offer and then somebody swoops in at the last moment with a better offer, and so you end up having to accept that. I was just getting ready to record a video for a person whose name for now we've blanked out, and I was just doing a final check and then I noticed Elmo's thanks. So Elmo gazumped somebody else who was just about to make a video for. It's true, Elmo came in with a better offer. But fear not, mystery thanker, whose name I've obfuscated, I will be making a video for you next. So thank you very much, Elmo, for that thanks. That was a big surprise. I really appreciate that. If you find one of my videos particularly helpful, like Elmo did, you can hit the thanks button below that video. I've answered Elmo's question, but there is one problem. That is that this fund has an accent. I kid you not. If I go to Google and type in 60/40 ETF ASX, and of course I'm expecting a whole lot of funds to come up, no, all I find is articles about 60/40 portfolios, but no actual ETFs at all. Oh, apparently these funds are being hard to find. As far as I can tell, there are no 60/40 ETFs in Australia at all. I know, it's an outrage, but I did find this. This is a BlackRock's BIGPX 60/40 Target Allocation Fund, but you notice it's only available to institutional investors, and you're not, you're retail. Plus, it's actually a US fund. And then there's this one, which is VBIX, which is a fund we just looked at before. Two things about this fund. Number one, it's not actually an ETF, although it is an investable fund. And secondly, it is 100% American for Americans, and you can't buy it here in Australia. Elmo, I'm not sure how easy this dream of yours is to actually achieve, but I've reached a conclusion. If a 60/40 index portfolio were available on the ASX as an ETF and it closely tracked its asset weighting and the management fees were low, it could be a viable option for the Australian seeking a 60/40 portfolio. I'll keep my eye out and let you know if anything like that comes up, but for now, it means you're going to have to roll your own. Meaning that you'd have to buy an individual stock ETF, or if you want to invest in Australia and overseas, that might be several, and then a separate bond ETF, and then you can do your own balancing. But what we've discovered about how the funds rebalance their portfolios, we can apply ourselves. That's right. So balancing your assets, use inflows and outflows to rebalance your assets. So every pay you might sock it away a little bit in your 60-40 portfolio. Well, why don't you actually have a look? Is it still 60-40? No, the shares are down a bit more, so you shove the money into the shares. On the other hand, if you're retired and drawing down on your portfolio, which one's out of balance, draw down on the bonds if they're slightly too high. That leaves one question. How often should you rebalance? Well, what we can do is take a look at what index funds do and get advice from them. Oh, I have a brand new channel member. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's Shrimp Tanks. I recently did a video for him, so he's already famous on this channel. The question is, does he even like shrimp? Well, yes, he does. He's utterly obsessed with Shrimp Tanks. So much so he even queues up to have a look at them. And you thought all the cool kids were queuing up in front of Apple. No, that is so last year. Today, everybody's going for Shrimp Tanks. Shrimp now has a superpower. Oh, he's joined the Jump the Question queue level. Wow, okay, that is impressive. This super membership level is designed to push your questions right up to the very, very top of the queue. And that's important. Take a look at my queue now. As of recording, it actually has 179 questions on it. That's right, if you asked a question right now, you'd be number 180. But not for Shrimp Tanks. His questions now go straight to the top of the queue. So in my next video, we'll be discussing whatever Shrimp Tanks wants. I write a script for my video a day ahead before I record it, and on the next day, I record the video and edit it. So the script was already written, I was just sitting down ready to record the video, and then I noticed that Shrimp had actually joined. So, in this new section, which was written after the entire rest of the video, it appears that Shrimp has now gazumped our mystery thinker. But fear not, mystery thinker, I will make sure that you get the next video after Shrimp. Oh, there's gazumping going on. It's like watching the Melbourne Cup to see who will get their video done next. So thank you, Shrimp, very much for being the ultimate channel member. I really appreciate that. And if you'd like to get all the power that Shrimp is getting right now, including the ability to gazump people, yes, I know, it's a brand new power, then hit the join button below this video. The question is, what can index funds teach us about how often we should rebalance? Well, let's take a look. So index funds can rebalance either quarterly, some might do it half yearly, and some might do it annually. Oh, can you give me an example of this, Sebastian? Well, yes, I can. So the Nasdaq 100 actually rebalances annually, which will come as a shock to most people. The S&P 500 rebalances quarterly, the ASX quarterly. Oddly enough, the ASX 300, yes, by S&P, exactly the same company, biannually, that means twice a year. As you can see, there's no one right answer to how often you rebalance. The index funds themselves don't even have a single answer. So this is how it works. If you want to keep your ratios tight, your 60-40, your 70-30 ratios tight, then rebalance more often. On the other hand, if you want to save on fees, because buying and selling always costs you, A, brokerage fees here in Australia, and then secondly, it costs you actually the spread, then you rebalance less often. Ultimately, though, it is a decision you have to make. Did you know there's a new index that actually beats the stock market? Really? Actually beats the stock market that we've been told all our life that nothing can beat? Yes. Okay, I'm interested in hearing about that. Click here to find out, or if you've seen that, click here.